Who unprinted my calls? Rude. To buy more? Curious. Okay. Yep, I got it. How's the buffering? Did it get fixed? Ugh, still looks like shit. $56.69 is still a very important level on SPX. Higher time frames, but yes. Why are they not saving this? That's a good question. There's not a shitload of sold puts here. Most of them are sold at like 57.05. So this range is already a little bit choppy. 57.20 is support, and we've finally got a decent rejection off of 35. But 35 is still where, you know, if we were to get a breakout, that's where it would occur. Well, above 35, more specifically. We'll see. The in the money puts could fall, or yeah, the in the money puts that are bought at 35 could fall off on this drop, and then we might see some more put selling. But we could drop a little further, like retest 18. Retested 18 would be kind of important. Or NQ 20,000. Happy Halloween, Nedog. Why are you so confident about 5750 calls? I'm not. They'll just print big if it breaks 35. Is $3,000 like an excessive amount of confidence? I don't think so. Why was the market crash every time Fubo looks bullish? I mean, to ensure that Atomic's covered calls print. I love how the stream starts chopping as soon as you say choppy. That's the AI. Jesus. What a bag of shit. Why is it doing this again? Maybe that'll help. I don't know. Carvana, the new GME meme stack. Yeah, it's been doing stuff. $57.33 SPX. One day. Are we below the EMA 30? We are. So the MA 50 is 56.98, which we're very close to testing. Starting to get a little bit more short vol coming in here at support. Maybe not enough, but some bot calls at 25. Gamma at 30 is slightly positive. Negative at 35. Much more positive at 40. And out to 60. So yeah, we'd be looking for support around here, and then maybe another attempt to push up out of the negative gamma down here. So yeah, if we get to the upside of 25 here, we start to break out a little bit. And then if you look above like 35.40, gamma's really flat, right? So it's very easy to move through like that range back towards, 50, 70. It's been 10,000 years since the last successful Carvana short. It's been 10,000 years since I shorted Carvana. $28's still the level to break on AR, or did the level shift after earnings action? I know the options chains got a lot cheaper, so it looks like a better entry in their direction now. I have no idea. Hold on. more 28 now, but interest is building out to the upside to around 40. Decent interest at like 28, 29, 30. Then it kind of slows down a little bit out to like 33, picks back up out to 40. Some heavy resistance around 36. Interesting. Hold on one second. Whoa. Run, it's the SEC. They're not, they don't want me. My camera is not off. In fact, it's on. I know, because I'm looking at myself. Not bad. Seems like we're stuck in the sauce. Yeah, pretty deeply. Pretty deeply in the sauce. Bulls could use a lot of things to try to V this, though. I'm not sure that softer NFP, which is what's expected tomorrow, is going to be what kicks it off. But NFP could come in really hot. So, yeah, I mean, that's definitely a possibility. The dollar is still kind of holding up here, although yields are coming down a bit at the top end. Interesting. Forward yield on vols up to like 10.8%. SEC trigger traders. What? No, I just woke up late. Hey, howdy. What's up? Put two fingers up. Where? Anyone in a Gert costume? What's a Gert costume? You just wear a VWAP hat and a Carhartt t-shirt. Nice. When Carvana bankrupt me? I don't know. Are you shorting it again? What happens if the election is contested? What do you think this is? 1864? The kidney thing fixed? Yeah, that's been over for a while. I think I just have really bad allergies this morning, but I don't know. Maybe I'm sick. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between the two. I might have like a really little cold or really bad allergies. But I took some allergy medication. I feel a little bit better. At least the sneezing stopped. The sneezing was out of control. I'm dressing up as Gherk's BFF. God damn it. What's up, Rims and Tims? Can I see the headlines now? 2024 U.S. presidential election decided by duel with muskets. Kamala's gonna win that. She's a cop. She's gonna fire 47 muskets and hit Trump once. She's not a stormtrooper. View up on a tray of eggplant parm. My wife doesn't think I'm hilarious. Root went crazy. Did you catch any of that? Very little, unfortunately. I only had like a few leaps that I picked up. Like it was like 6 contracts. I wanted more, but I wasn't done doing the research into it, so kind of missed out. He definitely will again, because it's good business. Fair. If you put a Q-tip in your belly button and it comes back out on its own, you're pregnant. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna try that later. What do I do if it comes out positive? Win bounce? Might not get one. I hope I do. But if we're gonna get one here, getting it here is pretty important. If we lose this level, there's really no support down to 5,700. $56.69 is not that close, but yeah, it's the next major level to watch, and that would be like the bearish confirmation. Kind of a wild morning. Yeah. Why don't you make root a pickles pick? I wasn't done doing the research on it. That's why I didn't have like a bigger position. I just picked up like a few out of the money calls for earnings and like not many. And then I was gonna, once I was done looking into it, I was gonna get more, but kind of missed the boat on that. Going out tonight? Maybe. We'll see. I'm not a big fan of going out on Halloween. It's usually just like a shit show. Why is Gherkin 15 comments behind? I don't think I was. Is it possible to go below 5,700? We could. Should we expect a strong bounce at the 50 MA? We could also see that. 50 MA is a little bit below 5,700 right now, but not much. Our rental property value is up 270%, but I'm emotionally attached. What do? I don't know what to tell you. Is it just me or is the stream on a 3-minute delay? There's buffering issues with YouTube's ingest servers still. I don't know how bad they are, but probably not great. I could try going back to the primary server, but that was fucking up earlier. Did it start coming back through? I saw your Ko-Fi, Costellosaurus. Since you're about 3 minutes behind, I can tell you what the price is 3 minutes in the future. Infinite money glitch. We can split it 50-50. Let's hope so. You're back-ish? Jesus. Nice. Time isn't as delayed. Okay. Well, that's better than nothing, I guess. Still kind of shitty, though. Odds of us losing 5,700 today. Not great. There is like a lot of sold puts at 5,700. They're trying to build some up here, and create a slightly higher support. But at 5,700, there's actually a shitload of them. I'd imagine the more time you delay the YouTube stream, the better the quality would become. I'm also not very familiar. No, that's not really the issue. It's just that for like the last month, like the ingest servers have just been like, I don't know, rate limiting, maybe. I only had calls overnight. I'm not okay. I thought we had a few more days left before the correction. If it's any consolation, we could still bounce pretty hard from here. Like the bearish positioning down here wasn't very strong, so it'll be hard for bears to hold this move. But they are piling in a little bit. What would the next support be? 5,700. Yeah, if we lose support here, we're probably going to drop to 5,700. What did I hear? Water bubbling? I have no idea. 201 billion at reverse repo. Amazon too, unless AWS absolutely kills it. AWS might do okay, but yeah, I could see there being issues. God, the connection is so bad. I don't know what to do. Is that any better? Let me know if that's any better. It is? Oh, okay. So switch to the legacy servers. Seems to be kind of working. Oil just rocketed? What happened? Ooh. Holy shit. That is an extraordinarily clean break of 70. Filling that gap. What did OPEC announce? Natural gas futures settle. Sudden commodities breakout. What happened? No idea. Attack on Israel or something, maybe? I'm not seeing any news. It's gotta be something though. Gold and oil, huge breakouts. Iran? Iraq? Iraq attacking Iran? Wait, what? Because oil just ripped. CL went up like fucking 200%. One fucking candle. Or 2% rather, sorry. 200 points. I'm sure it's gonna pile back into it, or they're gonna get fucking pushed. Still a big upside gap on CL. Up to like 71. Dollar slipped 104. That's probably kind of important. Down 300 to 900 up. That was a nuts move. Give up, bulls. They're still selling puts here. They're starting to sell the 57.10 a little more heavily. But they're not selling enough of them, which is kind of an issue. Best I can find, oil rises on stronger U.S. fuel demand, delayed at OPEC plus supply hike. That doesn't seem right. This has got to be like geopolitical something. Halfway back was 57.43.50. We needed to hold up. I don't think that level mattered as much. I think getting above 35, but Gamma's more positive to the upside here. Now if we get above 20, 25, a shitload of the negative gamma falls off. It's much closer to spot. And gamma all the way out to like 57, 55, 60 is pretty fucking flat. And there's a lot of sold puts there to push back out of the money. VIX is still climbing. But on the jump in oil, which is interesting. It is for tomorrow? Okay, good. Are people exiting the carry rapidly? No. Sorry. Hold on 1 second. DM. Iran preparing major retaliatory strike from Iraq within days. That's how old? Yeah, I see it on Axios 12 minutes ago. That's about, well, that's kind of close. So this range right here, gamma falls off really, really fast. So if we break out, especially above here at 25, we can move up pretty quickly. Another piece of the Jan color, Jan 31, 5460p with 9,000 volume. So the sold puts, or bought puts. No, sold puts. The 4560's got to be the sold puts, right? What was the other leg that came in? That's pretty big. 9,000's bigger than it was before. The bottom of the put spread. 5410p came in. Okay. I wonder if price action will loosen up a bit once it's fully rolled. Are the calls in place yet? $60.35. Oh, okay. I'll have to update that later. No, if we bounce, they might roll it. So I'll check it after close. But bull flag on oil. Yep. So sell Jan 31, 2025, 635. Buy 5410, sell 5460. Okay. All 9,000. Is CSP on how decent for some oil exposure? Yeah, they're okay. $6.22K. Alright. Or 9.22K. Got it. You think we surge to Gamma Max on SVX one last time before OPEX? What's possible? This failure's pretty significant. I would have wanted to see support at like ES 5840, but it's probably not going to get a higher high anytime soon. There's a lot of macro data next week, and the election's going to have some effect too, probably. But I think that's just going to drive risk premiums up and event vol. So I don't see that being particularly bullish, especially not with all the short vol on the chain. Are you still in Hal Leaps? I have a few, not many. Can you confirm my biases and tell me we'll have a soft landing? Sure. If that's what you want to believe. I wonder how many bulls want to load up on oil at 70. I didn't really get a chance. I had a 70 buy open and it got gapped. It didn't fill at all. "8,000 North Korean troops have reached Russia's Kursk border region and are ready to combat against Ukraine forces in the coming days." No one cares about 8,000 starving North Koreans descending upon. I think won't they just run away? Chasey here on oil, or is that gap fill likely? Looks good so far. I mean, consolidation's pretty bullish. Collar's rolled now, so maybe let off a little bit of the downward pressure on SPX. Although if oil keeps climbing, it's gonna be rough for vol. No, I guess it depends on how fast it climbs, but you think SPX will push up through 57.20? Well, I hope so. I'm logging a bunch of out of the money calls, which is a moderately bad idea. But bearish positioning to the upside is not that strong. So most of what's keeping us down here is the hedge. And if that starts to push back towards positive, then SPX can rip pretty hard. Geopolitical risks is taking a turn for the worse, though, so that news might be contradictory to price improvement on indexes. It's pretty obvious at this point. They at least feel like it's a credible threat. Do you have any? Do you have what this collar that's out going today was? I found it said that they don't actually roll or monetize it, but let it go to its grave and just buy a new one. What, the little collars? There's 3 collars that they roll. There are 3 different funds. There's like JEXQ, right? And then there's like JEXQ B and C or whatever. They're all the same. They're just sized differently. Yeah, today's number 2. That's okay. I am too. You're not alone. It's a high risk bet, but the payout is nuts, right? If we bounce back to like 57.70, holy shit. All my bets are high risk. This is just another Thursday. I hope you have a better cost basis than me. That will rip my shorts to pieces. Wait, are you short or long? I thought you had calls. Arana's preparing major retaliation. Yeah, I know. We covered it. How about a close at 57.50? That would do me just right. I feel like if we hit 57.50, we're gonna go higher. Like if we get above the bot put wall at 35, there's nothing stopping this from moving up. Doesn't always happen on the other 2 collars. Yeah, I know. That's because they're not big enough to really affect gamma at spot that much. Although this one is a little bit larger. I've seen like the mid collar anywhere from like 7,800 contracts up to like 12K. And towards the top end of that, it tends to have like 10, 11K. It tends to have more of an impact than like the smaller contract, like, well, smaller colors. So it really, I think a lot of it depends on how they size it. All right, so from 57.25 to 57.30, 22 billion in gamma, negative gamma would fall off. From 30 to 30, that 32 gamma goes positive. 35 gamma's positive 4 billion. And we are pushing up through 25 here, so gamma falls off very, very rapidly over the next few dollars. Or, well, negative gamma falls or moves positive. More positive. But still negative up to 32, so you still have to watch that. Watch that resistance there to the upside. I'm really curious, interested in how the color will roll on the half day next month. Will there be time for the V? Maybe not. I think the last time there was a half day on the color roll day, they rolled the color the prior day, like the day prior to the end of the month. So they paid for like one extra day at theta. Well, put selling is getting a little bit more aggressive, and the bot puts at 35 have trimmed. So it's, we run into some sold calls above 25, but not very many. There's sold puts all the way out to like 70. There's some put selling at 25, but it's not super aggressive yet. It may pick up. No, I should say appears to be put selling at 25. Don't want to get overconfident in that assessment, but looks a lot like it. Hmm. What a weird resistance on CL. Hey, Jen. What are your thoughts on China's current economic influence now that North Korea has joined the Russians? Seems like China lost some, if not all, of its ability to apply pressure to NK. I feel like, if anything, China would be backing the North Korea's decision to assist Russia and Ukraine as they try to create their own commodities corridor. I mean, I think North Korea is at least fairly commodities rich. It's an extraction issue, and so I mean, I don't think China's going to let go of that. A 574 XSP calls. You're suggesting that we actually close in the money? It's a very low probability, but there's a chance. Like Gamma's gonna turn positive just above 30 here. So if we're able to push that, then yeah, there's a decent chance that that we could see like the rest of the thin short call positioning to the upside close out, and the sold puts to the upside go back out of the money, which drives the cover bid on ES. So oh my god, is it numerology, Mike? You've been responding normally to him. I didn't realize until he typed all those numbers in a row. I've been ignoring Mike for days. Maybe he was shadow banned. He resurfaced after Jamie broke 23. When my cat sits in my chair, it's usually go Y times, so I embellish. I see. It's good to see you, numerology, Mike. Hasn't been the same without you here. I'm glad to see you're a futures trader now. If there's a place for numerology in the markets, that's it. Is having puts that expire in 2 weeks that are nearly $100 out of the money a good thing? No, Popcorn. We've been over this. Stop trying to short Carvana. The payment in kind will continue until you're broke. I haven't bought puts in a while. Is a while today? I just won't close the ones I have. This is gonna sound illegal, but you could have hedged them into earnings. No, it's been like a month. Well, 2 weeks. Oh, okay. What if Carvana gets a new all-time high? What's the deal with the warrants? I don't know. I still haven't dug into all that. I was busy trying to figure out the Ponzi scheme and when the payment in kind ended on each of the tranches, and then how much money Root was going to make. It's quite a lot of bullshit to dig through because criminal enterprises, of which Carvana seems like one, tend to try to obfuscate their actions through overly complex financial instruments, financial and legal instruments. I'm late to the party. Did you see that Root squoze? I had some calls on it. It didn't squeeze, it just ripped overnight. I bought some Intel calls for earnings, and despite the price being lower, they're up 18% just off of IV. I think that's a fairly anticipated earnings right now. The warrants are for the arrest of the CEO and his dad. Holy moly, SPX went down a lot. Yeah, it did. Alright, now Gamma goes positive at 30. Correlations turning back around. We still have Apple and Amazon earnings tonight also. So not only did the color roll and the gamma to the upside on SPX is flat, but we have big tech earnings, which people are going to want a long vol for, right? So if there's a chance they beat. I don't think Apple's guided down for this quarter, but they did miss on iPhone 16 production numbers, so that could weigh negatively on them. However, Azure did really well, and that's a huge chunk of Amazon's earnings. So maybe it's possible that Amazon outperforms, and then Apple just does okay, and that's more than enough. I know Azure is Microsoft, but Azure did well, so AWS is probably going to have fairly similar numbers. That's assuming the market isn't saturated. True. My company keeps pumping data into AWS, as long as it's useless data and they're paying for a bunch of services they don't need. The market is an eggplant parmesan? Yes. Oh, it is? So fucking useless. What about Intel? I don't know. I don't like Intel. I think their management sucks. We've seen them cannibalize each other's ad rev. I guess it happened with cloud market share in 2023 too. Possible. Okay, we're starting to get a little bit of distance between us and the bot puts on SPX down at 57.20. 57.30 is the last hurdle till gamma turns positive, and that opens up range out to 57.40, possibly higher. 40.45 might be a little bit of a resistance. A break of 40.45 would probably be dependent on momentum, and if we did, then 55.60 after that. Getting the 50 strike in the money would be exceedingly bullish. Let's see what happens. There's still a pretty concerted effort to short the puts at 25 and 15. 57.05 sold puts have picked up a little bit too, as well. Give me 1 second. In 44 minutes? Yeah. Yeah, that move can happen pretty rapidly. Bezos doesn't run the company anymore. It's become its own sentient, diabolical being. All right. Gherkin, Invisible Man Halloween costume. Is this bustin'? It's moving along at a nice pace. That's not overly aggressive, but remember, we're waiting for Gamma to turn positive here. And ideally not reject. And this is the resistance for that, so. Well, actually, technically Gamma's already a little bit positive, but a breakout here, it turns significantly more positive. I think we pick up like a few billion. Dork, I can't wait to close my calls just slightly above break even for them to go to $25. That's what it feels like I'm going to do here. One of us. In my defense, they are a bit over leveraged. Ooh, making money on oil. Let's go. There's no bot puts here now, like there were earlier, so the chances of breaking up through this resistance on another test are a lot better. If you kind of want an idea of how that's going, hold on, so you can kind of see where Gamma starts to pick up. And that picks up into like the 40 strike. But then it stays positive out further. So, 45 could be a little bit of resistance, but depending on the momentum as we pick up positive Gamma, we could blow through that and move up towards like 55 even. See those puts out there at the 50 strike? Those are sold. So, as those sold puts push out of the money, it drives the cover bid. What's on the left side? Volume. Purple's calls, blue is puts at each strike. If this saves my poorly positioned over leverage calls, I will refrain from asking about your shirt for a full week. You don't have to do that, Grimty. I love the attention. Which, excuse me? Turns out Iran attacking Israel is one of the most bullish things imaginable. Imagine if 10% of the S&P was floated by the price of crude on our massive crude outputs that we've ramped up over the last 2 years. Oh no, don't fall back into negative Gamma. That's the wrong way. SPX is 10% oil, roughly, yeah. Oh, can I zoom in? Does that shit fucking work? Oh, it does. Yeah, get in there. Amazon got rejected pretty hard too. So far the index rejection's not that bad. NQ looks pretty solid to retest 2100. 2100 to VWAP on NQ in 33 minutes? What do you think, Dork? God, that's tempting. Nope, not gonna size up more. What was that? Some insanely bullish prediction? Yeah, sure, why not? Did you ever close your MU calls? Yeah, I took profit on MU a while back. 25 is support. That's not good. Don't want to close at 20. Would the bulls lose it or bounce off of 25? Well, we'll find out. This is where their sold puts are, so. Testing. Could be a failed breakout. No gaps. $32 till close. I sold puts at 40 and 50, but no sold puts at 35. Few sold puts at 30. Now gamma moves positive at like 28. So back at the top of this. Same thing though, 25 to 30. Gamma goes from negative 26 billion to positive 1.7. Ooh, that's not good. Some more puts. Oil's starting to move back up a little bit more. I have my NQ rejection coming along. Not quite an inverse head and shoulders. I would still need to pull back some more. Although maybe a more bullish one. Support at 58, it's been decent. 60. Three minutes. I'm with Dork. Let's pray. Pray for what? How much room will Riley have when it does go? No idea. I always pray when gambling. Interesting. Pick up any 1 DTE TQQQ calls in case there's an overnight Uno reverse with tonight's earnings. I already sold all my QQQ. I don't think I wanna go. Well, no, but I might. You know what I might do? I might hedge like NQ futures overnight, like above 2250, like 20,250. So just put a buy there and see what happens. I should take 20% on my 0 DT oil play. Yep. Ooh. Short puts. Mmm. Tasty. More of that. Some of the bot puts took profit at 20. Gamma just a little bit positive at spot here, I think. Not 5,800. That's not happening. At most 55, I think. And that would be fucking crazy. Hmm. Support? Ah. Lame. Oh, wait. No supported NQ at 2100. Ah, fucking bulls suck. Oh well. Almost. We got a new high? No, same high. They had it. They just had to push a little bit harder. What type of bubble do you think is the most concerning? Student loans, CMBS, auto, etc. And how to make money for it from it? Thanks, Glorp. All praise be to our pious pickle pope. Most concerning. Probably subprime auto loans or CMBS. Carvana, Tesla for auto loans. CMBS is trickier. Probably just banks, right? Ally, yeah. Wow, what a bag of shit. Stink. How do I get into the Discord? Do I have a link? My Discord with my YouTube account? Yeah. You just link them together, and then should be in the settings. Jesus fucking Christ! Bill Gates die or what? No. I mean, everything just sold off. That wasn't like specific to Microsoft. Amazon's kind of holding up into close, but Apple sold off pretty hard. So did Nvidia, Microsoft. Google's not having a great day. Looks like tech just dumped there. Dispersion got too blown out when the bulls tried to push, and then they pulled it all back. Wow, I don't think that's bullish. Yeah, or tech beats overnight, and then we rip right back up again. Actually, I should get something for that. Okay, hedged against that. Okay. Higher low NQ. Way to hedge that off, right? Ooh. Jesus fucking Christ. Last minute? Apple under 225 into close. That was a fucking crazy sell-off into earnings. It's Apple, Amazon, right? Gherkin? Who could have seen that coming? Not you with your calls. To be fair, they did get 36. They really tried. Huh. Well, Amazon just reversed the day's losses. Apple, not so much. Or Apple's earnings aren't out yet, right? I foresee a day of vol crush ahead. If NFP comes in hot, you think this could be the pullback needed to start the rip upwards? Maybe. We've pulled back sufficiently. So, yeah. $5,700. Pretty big move down today. 170 points. Definitely a failure. There's still a bit of a support here, but we fell below it into close, so not sure we're going to recover that in the overnight session. Obviously, Amazon's earnings must be pretty decent. It's now up 2% on the day, which is pretty significant given how hard it dropped over the last 2 days. But I don't think we get any news out of Apple for a little while. Intel beat, nice. Oh, you have lucky you. Looks like commodities down, despite the big pump in oil at the end of the day there with the Iran via Iraq threats against Israel. Apparently they're planning another attack, which increases the chance of a retaliatory strike and further escalation. So we got some risk premium priced in immediately to oil. We may see oil climb up on that increased risk over the next few days, and if there is a realization of any kind of attack against Israel, then obviously that would probably move oil prices even further. Dollar came down today, pretty decent amount, slipped the 104 support and fell down to 103.90. I think largely on like the slightly softer like PCE year over year. Obviously, seeing PCE fall towards the Fed target is gonna not be bullish for the dollar. Although core PCE stayed flat, and super core, I think month over month, actually moved up a little bit. But it's still too early in the reporting of these to see any significant moves in inflation since the Fed cuts. We probably won't start to see the effect of that until December's prints. But it is interesting that the stickier parts are still staying quite sticky. They don't seem to be moving very much. I also think EU inflation climbed, which was helpful for the euro quite a bit. I think the euro is up 22 points against the dollar today. Correlation broke down really hard after the miss in tech earnings. Obviously, with the vol crush following Microsoft and Meta's earnings, a lot of those positions were just going to drop off. As I think Microsoft lost about 5% today, which was pretty significant, and for a market cap weighted index, very, very significant given Microsoft's size. However, they've spent the entirety of the day trying to turn correlation back around, and it looks like they did get a beat on Amazon, which is not insignificant, but we'll have to see how Apple's earnings look, which are probably significantly more important tonight. QQQ fell off really hard, as did Breadth, so really no winners today. Everything down across the board, vol up. USD JPY trimmed just a tiny bit, back under 8x, and also trimmed a little bit more on the short end with the 6 and 3 month leverage falling. Forward yield on volatility into the end of the day, closing out around 10.39%, which is, significantly over the Fed's fund rate. That encourages additional positioning into long vol. Bond vol up. Decent drop in bonds today, but not very much. And we did see 3-month correlation pick up in line with, finally, a little bit with the increase in bond vol. It's been falling since October 7th. So an interesting move there into the end of the month, which did close substantially lower and closed below support, and I'll cover that in a second. Skew still pushing up into the end of yesterday, so probably see a lot more tail risk hedging come onto the chain today with the 2% drop. 41.94% of the S&P over its 20-day moving average, and a big breaking correlation between VX and VIX, as they both moved up exceptionally hard, but VX up 8%, VIX up 13%. So a little bit more near-term volatility expectations rising. Fed fund futures still hovering right around 0.75 cuts, although it did dip earlier near 0.72. Not really any significant change there, which should be noted because that could mean that we see a lot of today's price action broadly across bonds, currency, and equity is mean revert. The 210 spread also not changing very much. Still just slightly positive 12.2% here. So a little bit of a drop this morning, but nothing too crazy. Or, well, end of day yesterday, and then kind of just stagnating out. NFP tomorrow will have a significant effect probably on all of these metrics. It's by far the most important labor print alongside unemployment, which is expected to rise slightly on falling non-farms, proving out that the last non-farms print, which beat analyst estimates by a very significant amount, was an outlier and not an indicator of current conditions. However, if NFP does beat again, analysts also once again have very low estimates. That will be not only stronger for inflation, but for the dollar, and positive for yields. Out here, we tested almost tested the 50 MA and the close there at the end of the day. Generally, this can act as a bit of a reversal point, not always a strong one, and I would say if we were to get a little bit of a relief rally, maybe we move up to the EMA 30, which is around like 57.60-ish. This is a failure. We do have now a confirmation of a breakdown in the trend. However, out on the weekly time frames, here there's still quite a ways to go down before we get stronger confirmation. So we do have the bear signal at 57.67. However, this wouldn't confirm a reversal on the weekly unless we fell below 56.69, and the same is true out on the monthly. So if we got to the 1 month, October closing red is definitely indicative of more of a sell-off moving forward, but losing the 55, 56, 69, 67 level, which we did test at the low of October, still important to confirm that we are in fact breaking down and maybe going to experience a correction. The last couple of corrections that we got, both in August and September, reversed back by the end of the month, and so weakness into the early part of November could end up being a very strong finish to the month of November, and we'd be looking towards probably the long-term trend there that you see to the downside on that yellow line, around 54, 46, 50, like 54, 40, 480, 486, for a reversal point for that price action. And that should be kind of close to where delta neutral is right now. Delta neutral will move if we move down into that range. Did you mention NQ? We could look at it. NQ got a little bit of a bounce there with Amazon earnings, but it didn't retain the entirety of it. Tested back at 2100. Does look like it's starting to form a little bit of a floor here. I don't know what guidance and everything's going to look like, but if that looks slightly positive, I could see it moving back up to 2200. But reversing the prior day's drop back towards like 2400 seems kind of unlikely overnight. If NFP is really bullish, then maybe, but otherwise, yeah. The heat map was fire. It's pretty cool. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you bright and early tomorrow. Later, guys.
Kenny's Mayonnaise is a proud sponsor of Pickle Financial, so when you get a hankering for some creamy, delicious mayo after a long night of snorting, sweating, and pacing, grab some Kenny's.